Now, from this vantage point, it might look like the convention center is on fire. But that's just the burnout pit over there. So this is the Tesla loop. I didn't record going through the tunnel because I was in a car with a bunch of people and I didn't want to be a jerk. But I just rode from the South Hall over to the West Hall. It only took a minute and it's free. And yeah, you hop in a Tesla Model X or Model whatever, and they go underground, and they drive, you know, about 1.7 miles under the city. It's pretty crazy. So this is the new West Hall. I haven't been here yet. This is the first year. You know, whereas I think that it's really cool that we have the Vegas loop, the Tesla loop. It's probably the most inefficiently way you could have done it, because you could have easily just made a tram that carries hundreds of people instead of just 3 people in a car, and had it going back and forth under there, you know. So the Boring Company tunnel is fantastic, but riding in a little car under the tunnel, I don't think it's the great idea. I mean, it worked, but like, you've got a whole bunch of cars, whole bunch of drivers waiting in line to get into a little car. I think it just could be done way more efficiently. You know, Elon needs to make an electric train. Oh wait, we have those. They're called trams. They've existed for like 100 years. I'm not bitching. It was a great ride. Thank you, Elon, for the free ride. Of course, we have the, this is a custom truck section. And I hear they're raising money for an amazing charity this year for microphallus. These poor men suffer from this disease. And the only cure is to drive a lifted Ford. Please give money to the microphallus organization. They need your help. I'm sure you recognize this thing. Here is Freddy Tavarish's finished McLaren. He just finished it off. Thing looks amazing. Got this amazing blue. The interior is just sick. I mean, wow, it came out so good. He's here with the rag company, microfiber rags. Super awesome. That's what he uses to wipe this thing down. It came out pretty awesome. Checking out some of this gold. You know how I love gold. He's got actual gold plating going on back here. It's pretty impressive. You can see all that on Freddy Tavarish's videos, his whole build. He spent 2 years building this car. So it it came out really well. There's just a slight sparkle. Can you see it? Oh, sparkle. It's so pretty. I'm not really a big fan of blue, but I like this a lot. I really do. Of course, if you watch my channel, you watch this guy's channel, you watch the Tavarish channel. And we watched for 2 years as you worked on this car. It came out fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
Seeing it in person versus seeing it on video is 2 different things. That the sparkle is so subtle, but when you see it in real life, I think it pops.
I mean, it's everything like on video tends to be more flat, right?
Yeah.
You know, landscapes and stuff like that. And it's the same with cars because, you know, you have to really take stuff in, you know, like the gold here. There's a satin element to it when the light hits it. So that's what I wanted to do with this car.
I'm digging the gold. How about doing these rims in that same satin gold? That might be a little Pontiac, you know?
So it might be. It might be a little too much. Like my thing with this is I want to, you know, it's not going to be an understated car, but I don't want it to be super, super shouty.
No.
So that's what I did with these.
But I think if it was like a kind of a muted satin that kind of matched the way that the plating is on the air brake wing there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, you
can
always paint
Alcantara
wheels. It's not illegal to paint stuff different colors, right?
No.
So yeah, I can always experiment with that.
Listen, I'm Dr. Mengele of DeLoreans. I destroy more DeLoreans than anybody. So I'm not afraid to take some paint or a drill or whatever. Yeah. And I'm sure there was a lot of McLaren owners watching you with a Dremel go to this thing and
like no.
But I have no problem. I'll walk up with a Milwaukee drill and go right into any car. You get a Bugatti, I don't care what it is.
Listen, as long as you realize that a bolt is a bolt,
you
know, like one might cost more than another, but it's still the same thing and it works the same way. So I mean, I put so many holes into this car, and you know, that might get you demonetized from what I just said, but
it showed up with a really big hole when you got it. And
there's several of them. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, you did a kick-ass job. Always love seeing you. If I make it down to Florida again, I want to come visit. But whenever you're in Vegas, can you hit me up?
Sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye. So I'm over in the North Hall. This is normally the electronics hall, and it's kind of, I mean, look how much space they've had to open up. It's a much smaller show than normal. It's not that crazy busy. You know, they do have the mask mandate, as you can see. No one gives a shit about the Mask Monday. So if you're wondering, yeah, nobody cares. Yes, you're supposed to wear one. Nobody does. But I mean, this would normally be full of vendors. Now, of course, they have the new West Hall open, but it's just blowing my mind about how this is the smallest SEMA show I've ever seen. I'm wondering how CES is going to be this year, if we even have it. And, you know, it's interesting. If you've ever been to SEMA, normally this hall, you'd barely be able to walk through here. It'd be so packed, full of people. But look, the entire half of the hall, they just filled it with some cars. I mean, unbelievable. Well, you guys who watch my channel regularly know that I'm mostly known for DeLoreans and DeLorean time machines. Been in the DeLorean community for a long time. And I saw something here at the SEMA show that blew my mind. Now, you're called Ampere EV. Ampere EV, okay. And you guys have taken a stock DeLorean,
yep,
and you've electrified it.
Yes, we have.
Now, tell me a little bit about the process. First question, there's going to be two questions everybody's going to want to know, because everybody who has a DeLorean, every time I sell a DeLorean to somebody, one of the first things they'll ask me is, can we change the engine out? And so they're going to want to know, like, is this available, first of all? Is this something that you can buy?
So we're shipping production kits in the spring.
Okay.
So look for it March. We'll be posting pre-orders on the website towards the end of the year.
Okay.
And shipping in March.
Now, how much modification do you have to do to the car? Is it kind of a direct drop-in type of thing, or do you have to do some major modifications?
No, very, very, very little modification at all. So we started with running, driving factory DeLorean, pulled the body off the chassis, which, as you guys
which is really
know,
easy to do.
Super easy, 12
it's like
bolts.
7 bolts or something, or 12 bolts, okay.
Half of them were finger tight anyway. So yeah.
You'd be surprised at how little is holding the body onto the frame.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we pulled that out. We pulled the drive line out, fuel tank out, got rid of some of the factory stuff that's not so good. You know, the factory hardline coolant lines, they're known to leak a bit. So pulled those. We then went about installing the high voltage components with our batteries. We got 2 batteries in the back, 1 in the front. We did the wiring harness. So we did the low voltage harness on the body, and then the high voltage harness is in the chassis.
So is there a 12 volt output, or are you still using a car battery for that?
So yeah, actually all EVs still have a car battery, a 12 volt car battery.
Okay.
We actually have a much smaller one. It's like kind of a ATV size battery.
Just to run the radio and stuff?
Well, all it needs to do is turn on the switch, right? Turn on the 12 volt system.
Okay.
From there, we have a DC to DC converter that steps down the 400 volt high voltage system to 12 volt to do constant power.
How about charging? Are you charging it just on a regular wall outlet, or do you need something special to charge it?
This car is compliant with the 1772 standard, so any EV charger that you buy off, Amazon or from your local power company, public charging stations.
So like if you were traveling, you could go to like a Tesla charger and use it?
So we do have CCS fast charging option.
Okay.
Which is right now that'd be Electrify America is the largest company selling fast chargers. But Tesla is opening up their network to everyone else, which means that sometime, maybe at the end of this year or early next year, Tesla is going to open up their network to everyone, which would include this car.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, first question out of everybody's mind is, what's this cost to do?
So it's heavily dependent on your motor choice, your battery size, and then what options you want. We've got.
Where does it begin?
So we've got motors with as low power as a Nissan Leaf motor, which is 85 kilowatts, 115 horsepower.
The DeLorean is like 130 horsepower in top running condition, maybe?
Yeah, they said it was supposed to do that from the factory.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it really did.
Downhill.
Yeah, right, yeah. So next up from there is we've got Tesla drive units, both small and large, that we support. Those are our used and more budget options.
So at the very bottom, how much could you expect to spend to start?
So if you're our real base system, real bare bones, you're looking at the 30 to 35,000 range, and then you option up with both motors and batteries and high voltage accessories from there, up to around 50 if you want everything.
Well, I think the DeLorean is about to get into that area where people are going to be spending as much as $100,000 on a stock DeLorean.
Yeah, clean examples.
We're almost there.
In the 70s already. Yeah.
So I think that because the car has gone up, now is it a reversible?
Yeah, almost entirely.
Yeah. Because I think there's going to come a time when people are going to want to, maybe, people say this to me all the time about when I build the DeLorean time machines. They want to be able to reverse the conversion back to a stock car.
So we've added riv nuts for mounting.
Okay.
With fiberglass body, so obviously that's not fully reversible. We cut a small hold amount of fuse box in the back engine compartment, which technically not reversible.
Not that big a deal, yeah.
But
for the most part, I mean, this car looks completely stock.
So it does, which is what we were going for. If you didn't know it was electric, it doesn't look electric, which I think is cool. Keeps the the classic feel.
Now show us some of the interface on here. Let's take a look at the interior.
All right, yeah.
Okay. Show me what's going on in here.
All right, so in this car, you're gonna see 3 obvious differences, right? One, the big one, is the LCD dash. That's the first big difference. The second one you've got is that touchscreen where the shifter used to be. And then the third, you're gonna notice the head unit's gone, and you've got a CAN bus keypad for shifting gears.
Yeah.
So that's actually your drive, your gear selection, and then you've got all your user interface with the car there on the touchscreen. That's your drive settings, your drive modes, regen braking, idle, creep. If you want a data log, we support that. Your trip, odometer, AC, heat. We've got turn-by-turn nav on there, music interface with Spotify and Apple Music, things like that. We've also got charging settings and I call it a nerd page. It's got your power outputs, your efficiencies, temperature of your motors and inverters and batteries.
Will users be able to reskin the dash, or is it only going to have?
Right now, it's the one design. We're looking at that, having several different, different skins, like you said. But for right now, our base system, we're gonna actually check it out running on the iPad. This system's custom to the DeLorean. Typically, you've got one screen with all that information and a landscape orientation. We did some customizing just for this car. I think it looks pretty slick.
Look at the battery drive unit, all that stuff back here.
Yeah, so we got 2 of our 3 battery modules back here where the engine used to be. They're all chained together. Both the high voltage and the coolant is chained together. On the right here, we've got our high voltage junction box. You might notice down there underneath it, that's where all your high voltage accessories come out from. This car is fully optioned with AC, heat. We don't have power steering, but factory didn't have power steering. The car really doesn't need it.
I put power steering in my car, and it's great.
Yeah, I've heard that there's an
electric power steering kit.
Electric power steering kit.
Sells,
yeah, which would work fine with this kit. I mean, if it's electric, it works fine. Even if it's hydraulic, it works fine because we do offer a electric hydraulic power steering pump.
Wow. Well, I know I'm gonna want one.
Yeah, I want one too. I drove the car, in its factory trim, and I've driven it as an electric car, and I can promise you that it is much better.
Well, I like where you guys are going with this. It is the future, and I see a lot of. I mean, obviously, you could do this to virtually any car.
Yeah, we are actually not car specific at all. Our kit will work in anything and everything. If you can mount it, it will work. Classic cars, trucks.
And what is the range that you're getting from the different kits?
Depends on the car. Our base battery system in a car like this is looking at 130 to 150 miles.
Wow, that's really good. Yeah. So, because I've seen a lot of other electric conversions done, and they're only getting like 40, 50 miles or something like that.
Yeah, no, we've got a really energy dense battery, and efficient motors. Everything's designed to work together. Efficient control system.
And this is a lightweight car. I mean, they're only 2,800 pound stock.
Yeah, we added 200 pounds to this car. Okay. So this is a 3,000 pound car. If anything, it's a better weight balance because we put some weight over the front wheels.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you guys think that we should build an all-electric EV DeLorean time machine, go down in the comments and tell us. And also, let's visit. I'll put a link maybe to your website.
Check out our
Look
website.
These guys up. And if you guys build an electric EV DeLorean, I want to see it. Maybe we'll put it on the channel. Because I think this would be a great idea. I mean, what would Doc Brown do? He would EV the time machine. That's what he would do. All right, thanks. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. Again, here I am. Middle of the central hall, the main hall. And they've just got a big, giant open space here. So this year's SEMA, much smaller. I mean, here I am. This is Wednesday afternoon. It's not that busy. This is one of the busiest days at SEMA. It's crazy. Never seen it like this. But hey, better than not at all, right? All right, well, we looked at the electric DeLorean, which is pretty cool. Now here is another modified DeLorean. They've done a wide-body kit and a twin turbo. People are always trying to find ways to make the DeLorean faster and perform better because its stock configuration's not, well, it's not ideal. So these guys, which are called Salvage to Savage, have an amazing YouTube channel you should check out. And I watched them build this thing over a period of time. It's got custom lighting, custom air dam. They did a lot to it. They put a lot of money into it. It's got a custom engine, twin turbo. They changed everything about it. I love the red suede Alcantara interior. It's fantastic. You know I would love that. I really like the way this thing came out. I don't hate it. You can see how they did a custom wide body on the front. This whole air dam is totally custom. I don't know if these headlights are actually headlights. I think they're just accent lighting. Wide body out of the fenders. Really digging the interior. I wish they'd open the doors. That'd be great. Because I love red. It's a bit of a burgundy color though. Of course, they had to flare this out, get these rims out. Like the wheels, those are great. Looks like they did a carbon fiber cap over the original pontoons. That's interesting. A little bit of stainless steel action. You can see how they've taken the original factory louvers, bolstered them in the middle, and put this clear acrylic, which is a great idea. I think anybody with a DeLorean with a custom finish would probably like that. Custom badging I like. Tail lights are interesting. Looks like they made sort of a mold of the original bezels and then inlaid these LEDs in there. Came out really good. I'd love to see it in the dark. Not necessarily street functional, but they look cool. I like the design of where they're going with it. Looks great. Over here at a place called Send Cut Send. You guys, you send them a file and they cut it out. And so they had a customer, a guy named Paul Bailey, who designed this amazing Ghostbusters trap, sent them all the files, they cut it out, and then he did the final assembly, let them borrow it so that they could have it on display. This thing is amazing. So kudos to the dude that put this thing together. You did a hell of a job. This is the best, the coolest trap I've ever seen. I mean, Ghostbusters should be hiring you to do this stuff for them. Maybe they are. I don't know. But this trap is sick. If you have another one, I'll buy it from you, whatever the cost. That thing is sick. Good job, bro. So yeah, man, here's a close-up of this thing. This thing is all aluminum machined. Here's the actual pedal with it. This guy's name on Instagram is the Custom Cab, Paul Bailey. And he's sending all the files. He engineered this thing. They told me it's cool for me to touch it, so they've been letting me look at it. But here's the other side of it. It's very heavy. It's hefty. You know, I mean, it's legit. It's as real as it could possibly be. You can see the real relay, the pedal. I mean, it's done as exacting as possible. Actually, this fitting actually even connects with a real, you know, air fitting. Inside are just some simple electronics to operate the lighting. Not sure whose kit that is or if he made it himself, but it's fantastic. Very, very impressive. So kudos to this dude. That's engineering at its finest. The Send Cut Send people just did a fantastic job getting it ready. And again, here is some of the stuff that they cut for him. You know, you get an idea of what it took to make this thing, put it together. And yes, this part does come out. I don't know if how it locks in. Let's see if it just slides out. Anyway, hey man, it came out great. Congratulations. Send Cut Send. Awesome stuff. Well, this year, obviously, the overplayed vehicle this year is the new Ford Bronco. Gotta be honest, not really impressed with it. A lot of y'all are on fire with it. This one though, this one is cool. Cummins turbo diesel in an old school Bronco. This is the Bronco that they should have made. Ford, are you paying attention? This thing is sick, right? This is what you do. This is a Bronco. Come on now. Take notes. Take notes. I'm not even really into the whole off-road scene, but I'd drive this. That's badass. Come on now. All right, that kind of wraps it up for this year's SEMA 2021. I'm glad I didn't have to fly out here and get a hotel and rent a car for all this because it was pretty mild. Wasn't a lot going on. Luckily for me, I just live down the street now, which is great. But I had a good time. It didn't suck. It was just, you know, it wasn't as lively as it normally was, which was great, actually. It was great not being totally mobbed up. Little Tesla thing is kind of cool. Thanks for the ride, Elon. So, you know, hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of SEMA videos coming out all over YouTube. This is just another one from my perspective. Hope you enjoyed it. You know, like, share, subscribe, blah, 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 all that kind of junk. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye.